Hey folks, and welcome to 2023. I wanted to get in front of the camera to say hi. I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope you're all still with me and you had a nice, safe new year. So we kick off. I know it's an arbitrary line in the sand between one day to the next, but a new year does carry with it a certain sort of ceremonial value. So let's lean into that. Let's do something different this year, have some fun, and that's what I want to talk to you about. What I want to change up this year is the way in which video guides are appearing on the channel. At the moment, it's normally about 8 videos every month, and that's been the case for a year and a half. That's, from a personal perspective, that's really difficult to maintain, because it's not just the recording, the editing, the painting, the so on, and all the work. It is also sourcing these miniatures and storing the boxes. When I only paint one out of a box, I got to figure out what to do with that as well. So what you're going to see is a change in some of the things that I'm painting. Now, don't fret. You're still going to get useful things for your new Imperial Guard, Leagues of Votann, all that sort of stuff. But as well, I want to pivot a little bit towards doing some hobby projects. Now, I had this in mind last year, and particularly with painting the New Zealand army that I did for Bolt Action. I fell behind, and it basically became this millstone of a thing that I had to finish. And come May, you know, it's unpleasant anniversaries for me, and I wasn't doing so great, so I took the week and flipped out and just painted the whole army while no one was looking. Not the way to run a blog. So this year, what I'm going to do, you're still going to see painting guides appearing. Don't think that that's going to stop, but probably going to see just a handful fewer each month. It's not going to be 2 or 3 every week anymore. It might be 1 or 2, and then some hobby content interspersed. Talking about how I want to build new armies, start new games, recommendations, stuff that I've been reading, rules reviews. I want to pivot a little bit more towards the broader hobby side of things, because there's only so many ways I can show you how to dry brush a guardsman, and I think most of these skills are largely transferable. So you're going to see a few more reviews as well, particularly in miniatures and stuff like that, because this year, like I said, I want to start new things, so you're going to see me exploring new ranges or revisiting old ones, and particularly with some of the very earliest videos that I've done, I do want to touch on those again. The new Astra Militarum range is going to be perfect for that, but you are going to see some other, let's say, remastered videos from that period. So first off, lurking behind me is actually, there we go, some Italians for Bolt Action. I'm going to paint an Italian army, and I want to spend about a month on it. I want it to look fairly nice. So before long, I'm going to talk you through, in another video, I'm going to talk you through the how and the why and my choices and how that relates to the rules and so on. If you are getting started, or you want some insight, or you're just curious about somebody else's thought process, I do have thought processes on occasion, so you'll get to see that. And yeah, the internet is this really fascinating tool for sharing tips and techniques and little tricks that ordinarily would be either stuck. If you go back 10, 15 years, I know that's going to be yesterday for some of you, and some others like me are going to be going, oh yeah. When I were a lad, some of this information would stay stuck in the pages of a White Dwarf, or it would be in a club, which then didn't really have an opportunity to share it without starting their own magazine or a zine or what have you. The internet now, we can share so much. So if you are interested, you're going to see those labeled something different. It's not going to be how I paint things all the time. How I paint things isn't going to stop, but it's going to be supplemented. And you're going to see some cool new stuff, I hope. This is inspired partly, if you go and check out Storm of Steel Wargaming or Tabletop CP. Miniature Realms is another really good example. Folks, sharing the hobby. And I don't get to play a lot of games, unfortunately. I live in a very small town where I don't speak the local language terribly well. And you guys are basically my outlet. So bouncing some of that hobby energy back and forth through the internet, maybe that helps you too. If you do end up starting a new army, or you're interested in some of what I'm doing when these videos come along, carry on dropping your comments and your questions and what have you, because it'll let me know what you want to see more of in those videos and what questions I really need to address when approaching these things. It's going to be new territory for me, for you as well. But if you like these odd encounters where I'm in front of the camera with this little thing strapped to my head, I love it. This is my mic, and it makes me look like the cheapest Borg cosplay you've ever seen. But I like it, so it stays. I've lost my train of thought. So anyhow, that's what to look forward to in 2023. There's going to be slightly fewer painting videos, but higher quality, I hope. I've upgraded my software since last year. My lighting is much better, and I've got some interesting things coming down the pipeline. Some of you have asked about vehicles, monsters, artillery pieces, that sort of stuff. And yeah, look for that this year. And we're going to do some hobby stuff. I'm going to glue stuff together. I'm going to talk about building an army and where my inspirations come from, and why I want to do Italians, early war French, Imperial Guard, Bavarians for sharp practice, these sorts of things. Yeah, it's just going to be hobby chats. A chance to shoot the proverbial and bounce some of that energy around. So, yeah, let me know what you think. If you're keen, cool. If you're not keen, well, you can skip those bits. They're not going to entirely replace what the channel is doing already. But I've always said I will run this channel for as long as it's fun. And that's something that I really want to put to the forefront. This is still my hobby for me. So I'm going to make it fun for me. And if it stays fun for you, cool. If it doesn't, sorry, it's not really, I don't want to scare anybody off, but this is to keep me sane more than you. So yeah, that is the reasoning behind this. But hopefully this little message finds you well. And like I said, you've had a pleasant Christmas and a safe New Year, and now we're back in the swing of things. So let's get into it. Let's get started. I'm going to make a cup of tea. You folks all enjoy the rest of your day.